I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
That's right. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere because you know where you belong. Like Ben Johnson, the job ain't finished. So we appreciate you, Cohen. Stay your ass down here. This is the only section in Florida that ain't get that 10 inches of snow and all that shit. So if you haven't noticed, Buck fans, this is a time to be hyped for some of you other motherfuckers. We're going to check you on a little bit. But right now, welcome to another episode of Bucs Report, the Aftermath, 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio with my co-host Slick, AJ Turn Up. We got a nice episode to talk about. Liam Cohen ain't going nowhere. The mission is still at hand. And for the first time ever, Baker Mayfield has stability. And I mean with an offensive coordinator. That means in the first time in his career, he got somebody to say, hey, we can get into this. We can work on this together. That is what you call great chemistry.
It's a shocking stat, though, when you think about it, and you know how people have written off Baker Mayfield, and I think all of us have at some point where we've seen him in the Browns or where he had that little stint in Carolina. And you see all these things, and you look at a stat like that. How do you have stability when they're constantly changing the guy? Imagine each time a person comes in, it's going to be new terminology. You got to absorb it all, and it's just insane when you look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you expect a guy to be successful if you're constantly changing the man who's basically supposed to develop him as a player?
That's right. And we've seen this before, Slick. We've seen this in guys out there as Matt Ryan. He could tell you somewhere he's in there swinging right now saying, shit, I wish I would have had that kind of continuity with my coordinators. You can't people one-on-one, it takes longer for offenses to develop than defenses. Think about that shit. You got to have the timing down between the quarterback and the receiver. The offensive linemen have to know what they're doing. The running back has to know which gap to hit and how the design is, the rollouts, making sure the offensive line don't have too many men up the fucking field. It's far more complex. Now, Baker, and actually that shows, hot take, the Buccaneers, Slick, will be the number one offense, and Baker Mayfield will have another MVP-like season. He's going to throw for 44 touchdowns and 4,800 yards. And he's going to throw only 11 interceptions. That's right. Y'all heard that here.
Okay, what we need to do is get a piece of paper, and every time one of us makes a claim like that, we need to write it down so we can receipt it at the end of the year.
I could do it right now. Look, I wrote it down right now. Write this down, Slick. Bucky Irvin.
I've got the paper on me.
Okay, Bucky Irvin. He is going to run for 1,350 plus yards, and he will have 10 rushing touchdowns. And then to make it even juicier, he's going to have 300 plus receiving yards and 2 touchdowns receiving. You heard it here. This offense is going to be legit because now the confidence is going to be there within the offense, and we're going to re-sign Godwin. And another prediction, Mike Evans will get 1,000 yards by week 14.
Yarr.
Week 14 is going to have 1,000 because the man is on a mission. Put it this way. This man wants to break Jerry Rice's record, and if he does that, Slick, like you always talk about, if you guys don't go back and check out Slick. He said that is something that is going to be hard for most receivers. Oh, Tyreek Hill's out of the conversation.
Yep.
So how do you like that?
Yep. Devontae Adams out of the equation. Well, he had quite a few seasons where he didn't get it, but what you really need, I think the only people who are actually in the conversation now are probably Amon St. Brown,
and Justin
Jefferson, and I think Chase as well.
No, Chase didn't have 1,000 yards one of them seasons, but you can look it up.
I'll have a quick look.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this Bucs offense, knock on wood, and we're praying that no injuries occur, this Bucs offense is going to take off because we are going to have the chemistry. This is why bringing Cohen back was a number one priority. That is why we needed that. We can't take that chance. The stats show Liam Cohen, we were fourth in running and third in passing, and 29.5 points per game. That is, and we were only 20 points in 2023. That's damn near 10 points difference. That means, hell, that should show you people out there who are the bowl scrubbers. If it wasn't for this offense, the defense, the fucking team would have been at least 15-2. This is what we're trying to get. This is the importance of Cohen to this offense, because another thing, he brings new ideas, he brings aggressiveness, and he is going to, if you think, man, now, not only that, it brings out the best of your team. We already saw the immediate, a surge of Cody Mock developing. What you think Graham Barton is going to be like next year? Graham Barton is going to be a fucking stud. Man, Gedeke, that's another chip. Hell, Bredesen might step his game up, and we already know what to expect from Tristan Wirfs. So this is why it was important. It was imperative to keep that, because now it's not only the game is going to slow down for this team. The confidence will rise. This offense can be what the Detroit Lions were this past season. Offense, we were already a juggernaut, but now we're just going to be an unstoppable force. That is why I am very happy that Cohen decided to stay. And plus, Tampa's better than Jacksonville. You wouldn't have liked it there. Sorry to say. Nothing against Duval County. Shout out to people down there, but your Jaguars, y'all know y'all some shit right now. Hell, Cohen leaving, they had to finally say, okay, GM, you got to get the fuck out of here. If Cohen didn't want to come up here because he said, wait a minute, that's y'all GM? Yeah, no, I'm all right. Imagine leaving Jason Light and going to that shit. That's like, that's like having Zoe Saldana as your girlfriend, then y'all break up, and then now you shacking with Roseanne. It's not a good look. So I was excited when I saw the news, Slick. This man,
yeah.
This is going to be so beneficial for this offense. And again, if you guys don't understand, Baker Mayfield is going to have continuity for once. This is what you want in your quarterback. Now we can go into the offseason going, okay, we already know what we're going to do. You know what that also means, Slick? Now, if they want to, they can chop it up with each other during the offseason, and now they can get to business. If I'm Baker in this team and Cohen, hey, y'all, fuck the Super Bowl. I understand everybody got their personal time and we want to get back into it, but Slick, this is a Super Bowl year. That's right. Buck fans, this is a Super Bowl year. No time to bullshit. Evans isn't getting younger. You still have I think because Cohen come back, I won't be surprised if Levante says, I'm winning. This is my last year.
If anything, you got Levante's a big bowls guy, if anything, so you know he's going to come back because of that. But they really need to find themselves a linebacker, not just who's going to replace him. It's going to be someone you need to put side to him. And then when he finally does hang them up, you got another year with him. You got one guy, you got your rookie is now no longer a rookie and he's ready to roll. And then you bring in another rookie or you bring in a free agent. I don't think the Buccaneers can go down the route. They need to draft somebody and they probably need a free agent.
Oh, 100%. Look, with Cohen now, we know the offense is set. Now, if we're going to get down to business, Godwin, bring your ass back too. Like Arian said, yes, ain't going nowhere. Yes, ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, Godwin. Why would you? You got to start all over again. You were having a monster of a season. It was your silly ass coach. That's the reason why you got hurt, because he didn't want to fucking all that urgency in the last quarter. Where the fuck was that 3 quarters ago? Now, Godwin, you're going to come back strong, and they're going to use you the right way. And Godwin, if we're getting blown out and coach says get in there, you be like, hell no, the game's over. Live to fight another day, coach. So as of right now, the tick-tock bowls, and that's a double entendre out there, folks. it's on you, Bowles. This is your last final chance. For all you bold gulpers out there, okay, you got what you wanted.
Well, apparently that he needs this cap room. He's got it now. He's got the team, and now he's got the money. So now we're gonna make sure he gets it right.
He's okay. The money is there.
The draft picks are there.
The draft picks are there. Now you got to show me you for real. Buck fans, ain't no savior in the fucking draft for a pass rusher. We got to go out there and swing for the fucking house and go get either Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Hendrickson, and hey, look, Khalil Mack is cheap. You can go get him a 1-year deal. That's it. If anybody disrespects what the fucking Khalil Mack shit sleep, they don't know what they're talking about. That man has enough juice left, and you sit him aside, Vita Vea and Kancey. Come on. That's a formidable opponent. But if we can get Crosby, let's do it right. If I was the Glazers, Slick, this would be my offer to Crosby, hopefully. Hey, guys, we can give you a first. We can give you a third this year, and we can give you a second for next year, and then we can give you Rashad. Come on now. That's a sweet deal. You're getting come on now. You're getting basically 3 high top picks, and you're getting a hot commodity in Rashad. Pull the trigger. Come on.
So it really comes down to like Khalil Mack is the only free agent out of those you mentioned, obviously. You got Hassan Riddick, Josh Sweat, Malcolm Kuntz, DeMarcus Lawrence, Chase Young, and then it kind of drops off a fair bit. And I think you can go and get one of those guys in free agency. I hope it's someone like Khalil Mack. I think Khalil Mack has got another year left in him, maybe even 2. I'd maybe offer a 2-year contract and have it front loaded. So if you're only on the hook for a couple of mil the next year, so it's not a big hit if you do have to cut.
Yes.
That's probably where I would go with it. So it's not like you're guaranteeing him 2 years. You guarantee him the 1 year, make that one fully guaranteed if you want to. Do it all in fucking signing bonus. That way we don't have to take any fucking cap hit. And then the next year, maybe 2 mil, 3 mil guaranteed. So if you do go, he wasn't what we wanted. But I do think going after a Crosby, this is my offer. 2 firsts, this year's, next year's, and a third from next year. Because you've got to remember that pass rusher is going to set you up for the foreseeable future, right? Because Crosby's probably got 5 years left in him, right? At bare minimum, I'm looking like.
I agree. 5 prime years. I agree. 5 prime years. I give you
my point. So, and you're not going to get a guy like that. You can use that first. You can use this year's first round pick and next year's first round draft pick to draft a pass rusher, and he probably still won't be as good as Crosby because your draft pick is just too high. It's just too low. Unless you can find someone and develop them, it's not impossible. It's unlikely.
It's unlikely. I agree.
Guys who get drafted in the first and second round, the tail end of the first round and the start of the second round, don't always become great. It takes them years. It can either take them years, or they just become a really good rotational player. Not everyone can do it. Some players go on to have great careers. But it's usually the high-end drafted ones because there's something special about those guys.
100%. And you got to still remember, Bowles, and for people out there, you still got to look at what you got in some of the players you drafted last season. We don't know what Broswell's potential is. Remember, he was a 2nd-round pick for a reason, Slick. He has some special qualities that we saw. We saw glimpses, but you got to develop them and get them on the field, coach. You are a defensive-minded person. You're supposed to be invested in these guys and immediately evaluate what is great about them. And then the other players that you've seen, like Joe Trashenka, if you don't take just $1 million, you are a rotational piece. If he asks for more, Slick, I'd say pack your shit and get out. You're done. We don't need you. Again, KJ Britt, if Savassier can show me that he can be healthy, KJ Britt shouldn't ask for much. He should be another cheap depth piece. That's it. Anthony Nelson, I think you can get him for cheap.
I don't think Anthony Nelson's going to go to anywhere. So the thing is, he's a bit like I think he's going to end up like a Will Gulston. A guy who can come in and get you a few sacks, bring something different to the table. I think that's what he's there for. Until he can't do it, he'll be there. And I think he has quite a bit of value on special teams as well.
Yes, exactly. But that's what we want. If anything, this off season is about swinging big for the fence in the free agency, and then when you're drafting. And I know, guys, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we'll be talking about the draft, of course, throughout the entire.
We can't get ahead of ourselves. We've got no fucking games to watch anymore.
Exactly. So, if anything, we need corners and linebackers, and I don't care.
Okay, let's have a look at the linebacking core. At the free agent point of view, you got Dre Greenlaw, you got Nick Bolton from the Kansas City Chiefs, you got Ernest Jones, Bobby Wags, Zach Bourne, Tyrell Dodson, Kazir White, and Elandon Roberts for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's basically your top free agents. Obviously, we got if Levante comes back. Would you pull the trigger on a guy? Or would you go, that's definitely someone I want to get in the draft?
I'm going with the draft because all those players you mentioned, they don't have as much upside. And a lot of them are, I'd rather go for something young because now I first things first, I'd get a linebacker that's good in coverage. And then my second pick, if I get another linebacker, I want a speedster. I want someone with the Savassier kind of explosiveness so we can have that good rotation. Because Broswell, I think, will be just fine. Savassier, motherfucker, just got to stay healthy, and I can rock with that. If Levante comes back, like you said, that 1 year of mentoring. So we need to find that linebacker maybe in the second or third round that will be the potential guy who is going to replace Levante. Mm-hmm. So like you said, when Levante's gone, all right, you're going to be in charge now. I hope you learned everything. But the most important thing, we need a pass coverage linebacker. That's the number one priority, pass coverage, because as you know, we was getting shredded in the middle. And then get a corner that's going to put a fire or a spark up Dean's ass. At this point, Dean is on the bullshit list too. Bro, we're gonna draft somebody that's there to take your fucking job. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I wouldn't cut him just yet, and I wouldn't cut him just yet, just for the sheer fact this is one of my own fundamental beliefs. And yes, people have always argued this with me. You don't get rid of somebody until you've got their replacement, or you know you're going to replace them. The Buccaneers knew what they had in Zion McCullum, and they were happy to let Carlton Davis go. Mm-hmm. And I give the coaching staff full credit to that because they've obviously evaluated him. We didn't see anything like that. I thought he was going to be a fucking liability, but he was much better than expected and really, turned it around. And corners take years to develop. That's why sometimes drafting one isn't always the way forward. Mm-hmm. And the higher the draft pick, the quicker they'll come on. It's not always the case. It's just one of those things with DBs. It usually takes them a year or two to bed in. And we've seen that. We've seen that with every single one that we've pretty much drafted. And they've all been pretty solid in the last few years. We go with Sean Murphy-Bunting. He probably got ahead quite quick. Because originally, I believe it was him, then Dean took his spot.
Yes.
And then, and before that, Colton Davis took like 2 years to get going. So there's usually a 2 year gap where they don't jump off the screen.
Yes.
So that's why maybe a corner might be the free agent route you go down. It all depends on if you are willing. If you can go and get somebody, and you can get rid of Dean, and you think you're going to get a better version, then fair enough. But if you're drafting, you probably want to keep Dean around at least until this guy starts to develop, and then put some pressure on him. And you go and looking at the end of the season, and go, he's better in coverage than that guy. Because you look at all those positional groups, and those one-on-ones, and they're doing those one-on-one drills, and they're doing the install, from your installs to your one-on-one drills to your competition drills. They're looking at all that, and they go, you can hold that motherfucker down.
100%. 100%. And here's another position that it's something that we do need to address. It's not as dire, but I still would like to do it. I'd want to get a safety maybe in the 5th round.
The exact same mindset as me.
Someone that is good in coverage. We need another coverage individual that is going to complement Bowles, complement Winfield, because Whitehead, unless he's down in the box, I just don't like him in coverage. Yeah, he's ineffective. So we need
I
another.
think now you've got the three amigos back.
Yes.
Well, if you can keep Edwards, I think there's a rotational thing that you can do there to make up for that. But it would be nice to get somebody who's a bit of a jack of all trades that can play a little bit in the box, but then can play in that. That way, you don't have to keep chopping and changing all the downs and what have you. The only reason I was going to go through this cornerback, the top free agents are DJ Reed, Chadvarius Ward, Russell Douglas, Colton Davis III, Byron Murphy, Asante Samuel Jr., Mike Hilton, Christian Fulton, and Paulson Abdu and Nate Hobbs. So there's no one really there that you go, I can get rid of Dean and I've instantly got an upgrade. I think it's a sideways step at this point with those kind of guys.
If it wasn't for his health, I'd bring back Carlton Davis. Imagine Carlton and Zion on the field. Yeah. Carlton and they both are very physical, and that would help a lot because then it would help our pass rush get there. But at this point, my dream free agency is to sign fucking Max Crosby and Khalil, because I honestly think that this might be a next season where Yaya needs to take a step back and earn and fight for his starting position. No disrespect to him. Was he good at the run? Yes, but he took major steps back when it came to the pass rush. He did not develop the way that we were supposed to. And I think he needs to go back at being, I think that hunger needs to get he needs to get that back, because when other people were in front of him, Yaya played a lot different. That's just my opinion, Slick. I could be wrong, but when you drop, it's different. It'd be different if for me, a pass rusher, Slick, had like maybe 10 sacks one season, then he has 8 or 8.5. That's not a big drop off, but from 7.5 to 4, that's inexcusable, and you're supposed to be getting better.
You're kind of expecting that 6 at minimum.
Yes, and you said it, Slick. Remember when people were saying, "Man, y'all guys gonna get at least 12 sacks?" You was like, "Hold on." You were like, "Man, guys, that's a major step." But again, like you said, that's not
that's elite pass rush. 10 sacks is kind of that golden marker saying that you're a very good pass rusher. Anything above that, he tends to, like we'll talk about wide receivers, because someone tried to one of my we have like a group, and I'm actually going to turn it into a show at some point. And I was like, we'd love to turn this into a show. And they were basically saying that Mike Evans isn't that good. And I was like, okay, I'll come down. And you know me, I'll always listen to the conversation. Okay. Because they literally ranked where he listed with his wide receiving yards. So, okay, can you do that with touchdowns? No. What do you mean? Rank where he ranked in the NFL with all wide receivers versus touchdowns every single year, because they did it with the yards. And he was like 12th, 13th, 18th, 22nd, 15th. He was never really like a top 5 guy. And he's just a very good wide receiver. He's not elite or anything. I was like, okay, do that with touchdowns. And they didn't. And I came back and went 1st, 2nd, 6th, 5th, 4th. The rest are just outside the top 10. Said he has double digit, and this is it. We all talk about the 1,000 yards. Don't forget that he's had 6 seasons with double digit touchdowns. Do you know how many double digit touchdown seasons Julio Jones has?
Zero, I think.
2.
That's it. Ooh, and people love.
Do you know how many Antonio Brown has?
2.
4.
Okay.
He's got 6. People don't look at that side of it. That they're like double-digit touchdowns and the 1,000 yards. I said, when you combine the 2 together, you've got elite.
You've got elite.
He's not. I said he's not going to be that guy who goes down the yards, catches the ball, and then streaks off another 10 yards before he's tackled. Mike Evans is a jump ball wide receiver, or you throw it to him in space and he's streaking into the end zone. Or he's a red zone threat. So most of his short range yardage is always in the red zone, and his long stride yardage is usually jump balls.
He's a fundamental guy.
He's a possession red zone wide receiver.
Yes, and that's okay. And you just said it. I tell people all the time that Evans stats, those double-digit touchdowns, that's an elite company. Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter, and people love to talk about Chris Carter. And I'm sitting back like, okay, everything that you see Chris Carter do, Mike Evans does that as well, and he does it in bigger moments.
Mhm.
People forget Chris Carter had fucking Randy Moss on the opposite side. That's not to say that Chris Carter wasn't the man. He was, but
He was the man before Randy Moss got there, right?
But then Randy Moss came in and within the second year, he took that shit away. So this is why you're right. I always ask people this, and Slick, I got the fan cap because I say, let's take that shit off. And I ask people, like, I asked them, are you impressed because he electrifies you, or are you impressed because he gets the win? There's a difference, because I ask people, have you ever seen Brady play football? When the last time he electrified you? His wins are the electrified things. There's
he had that one season with the Buccaneers that was amazing. Then he had the one with Randy Moss where they didn't win the Super Bowl. Where those are probably his two most electrifying years, right?
Right. Out of all those years,
he was just those 2 years were offensive juggernauts.
Exactly, and ironically, he lost in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Electrifying don't mean shit if you can't get the job done. This is what we like to explain to people who don't. The game of football, Slick, I don't give a fuck if you're boring. If you give me wins, that's all I care about. Patriots, the games were boring, but they won. They win. That's what it's about.
And what made the Patriots better in being able to watch them was their comebacks. Like, and Kansas City are doing it right now. Do it now. Never leave too much time on the clock, because Patrick Mahomes will shred you for a touchdown to win the game. Don't ever leave him. Like, it's almost like it's a sad thing. If you don't tie the game when there's minutes left to go, or don't go up by like 3, you need to fucking punch that bitch in there, because otherwise you're praying to the football gods that he makes a mistake that you can capitalize on, because he's that good in clutch situations that he will go, right, come on guys, we're going driving the field, we're going to win this motherfucker.
That's right.
Every fucking Super Bowl.
And that's right. And again, guys, that's why it's not always about who's the most exciting. It's about who gets the job done. There are a lot of exciting players. Adrian Peterson was exciting. He don't have a fucking ring, and he fumbled when it counted the most. It's very rare to get people to do both. That's what makes them special. I love Marshawn Lynch, Slick, because he was the anomaly of that. He was electrifying, but he also knew how to win. He closed wins. He would get that ball. He would have 30 yards in the first 3 quarters, but then fucking break out of the scene and have like 90 in the 4th and a touchdown and win. He wears you down. So, guys, that's what we want to explain. It's not always about the most exciting. It's about the most efficient. I get it. Football's entertaining, but I need the guy who gets the job
LeGarrette Blount's got, 3 Super Bowl rings?
Exactly. LeGarrette Blount got 3 Super Bowl rings. Chilling.
And he was a starter on every single team. It's not like he was the bum that was sat behind somebody. He's got 3 rings where he ran the ball in every single one of them.
Yep. And he's chilling. And he's paid. So, and he can walk away healthy. So that's what we want to bring. But again, back to the original topic of discussion, Liam Cohen, thank you for staying, because you deserve this. But now we got to switch our attention to, you baby back bitches. Yeah, we're doing this. Again, for Buck fans who we can always disagree or agree to disagree or whatever, but I don't like posers or Swifty ass, up and down fake ass Buck fans. This is for you guys. You don't get to celebrate with Buck fans when it comes to this Cohen shit. Go back and dip you and have Bose dip his nuts in your mouth, because this shit was atrocious right here. Look at this shit, Slick. So let's take a look. All right. But the Buccaneers, I want Liam. No, hold on. I'm doing this shit way out of order. Let's go back. Let's go back. Wait, let me get myself together. Wait a sec. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I want Liam to stay, but the Bucs offense will be just fine without him. Someone said this. They gave him all the stats, right, Slick? All the stats. Here he goes. The new OC won't need to reinvent the wheel here. Not with that young talented O-line, Baker, Bucky, Rashad. Liam did a fantastic job last season, but Baker and Bucky carried this offense off script more than people are willing to admit. What kind of silly shit is that? Oh, but hold on, Slick. There's more. When the news came through, I never doubted you. You didn't doubt him, but you
You
literally
didn't.
just
You just said you
contradicted
literally said
yourself.
that the team went off script more than it needed to.
Yeah,
So basically, they won in spite of him.
they won right. They won in spite of him. Wait a minute. Hold on, Mr. Sir. Why wouldn't we do that shit last year then? It's not just Bucky and them, it's the scheme. The scheme changed. Was Bucky running up the fucking middle all the time? No, he was running.
I don't think you can run off script. I think what people mean is that he's able to jump cut into a different lane and what have you.
Yeah,
That's fine, but
that's fine.
every running back's supposed to be able to do that. Like that's like a hallmark of a very good running back. If you only had a running back that could run through the hole that was designed for him, you will get a bad running back over time because
Right.
you're a one-trick pony. All you're going to do. That's basically the old school mindset of I'm going to hit my gap, I'm going to hit the gap that I'm supposed to hit, and I'm going to hit as hard as I can. You're practically a fullback.
Yeah, and let alone
And in
this.
this day and age in football, that doesn't work anymore. It's great for short yardage, useless for big yardage.
Useless for big yardage. Well, more than that, you're not going to give Liam Cohen the props that he deserved? Remember, with Canales, we were 32nd in running, so we were ass last. Now this year, we were 4th in running, we were 3rd in passing, 29.5 points per game. And 2023, we were 20.
And we lost us 2 wide receivers during the middle of the season.
That. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. We were pass first in the early part of the season. Then we switched the entire thing around to a run team. Mind you, the best run team in Buccaneers history. We were better than Allstott and Ward Dunn. Thunder and Lightning. That shit is. Nobody saw that coming. If somebody would have said, AJ, they're going to be better than Thunder and Lightning, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You lying. But they were. And they were efficient. And losing Evans and Godwin is something that the Bucs did not lose any type of caliber player like that on defense. That speaks volumes. Vita Vea play. It'd be different if Vita and Canty were out for like 8 games apiece between each other. Like if both lost 8 games, then we could say,
yeah,
okay,
we had a lot of guys go out for a game here, and a guy out go out for a game there, and a guy out go out for 3 games here. It was messy, and I think the only thing you could say is continuity on the defense was a bit shaky at best. But with the offense, you had 2 of the main stars, two of the dudes, and then a rookie and a guy called Sterling Shepard, who I think the Buccaneers should keep because he's better than Russell Gage, for fuck's sake.
Yes, he is.
He's better than Russell Gage. They probably cost him fuck all to get him here. I really like this kid. I say kid. He's about our age. He's not far out from our age, but I really like Russell Shepard. I don't think he's going to offer you a lot. I think he's a great veteran locker room presence, and I think when the time comes and you need him to step up, he will. And I think that's what you need in your players. I think Trey Palmer, the experiment is done. If I was the offensive coordinator, I'm bringing him into my office and say, look, dude, your attitude stinks. You've got Mike Evans. Do you see him bitching and complaining? Do you see him bitching and complaining? Chris Godwin has been sidelined again in his career with a season-ending injury. Do you see him pouting, bitching? And I got your ass, who had the opportunity to be the second guy. I had 3 guys. One was an NFL veteran that was, I wouldn't say he was on his last legs, but looked like he was slowly phasing out of the league. I had a rookie and had you, a second-year player. Who do you think I expected to jump to make that statement and go, I'm that guy. Don't worry, coach. I got you.
That's right.
Instead, you shrank. You got smaller and smaller and smaller, and the rest of them had to pick it up. God bless him for doing it, because otherwise you'd be out in your ear.
But again, that's also great developing of coaches. Again, you are a defensive minded coach. I'm going back to Bowles. Why didn't you use Broswell some more? If you felt that Joe Trushenko couldn't get the job done, why didn't you rotate the players more? Why didn't you develop other schemes? If you are aware that you're lacking in the secondary and they're getting the ball off quick, why not bring a safety down? Why are you giving other teams more credible reason than your own? This is the answers that we want to find out. And again, with Liam Cohen, he didn't rattle. When we played those games against the Falcons, against the Chiefs, against the 49ers, the offense did their job. It was the defense yet again that let us down. Those games that we lost, the Bucs put up 20-something points. And it was because of you, Bowles, against the Chiefs. We should have went for 2. You kicked the field goal to be safe. If you lose being aggressive, no one would have given a shit. You had the defense, you had the Super Bowl defending champs on the ropes, and yet you doubted. And then you allowed Mahomes to march down the fucking field. The San Francisco game, which we all know, is still in my head. I can't forgive him for that ever.
There's at least 2 games this season that we I call them giveaways. We gave them away, and that is quintessentially one of them. I wouldn't say the Chiefs one is. I think a lot of people would have done what Coach Bowles did. I think, but you're right in the sense of what we know now as Mahomes is, don't let him hang around, because everyone was close. You know, when the team goes, "Oh, we had the defending champions." Everyone who played them pretty much had them on the ropes.
Yep.
Until they didn't. They were just one of those teams that you could get to a point where you look like you were going to win, but don't make sure that they don't have the last roll of the dice, because they're going to roll a 6 and it's over.
Right.
That's how it was. It was almost, you need to outscore them to oblivion, but they just one of those teams that they look like they're about to lose, and then they just figure it the fuck out. They're so clutch in those situations. Which I don't give a fuck about refereeing calls and all this bullshit. Brady had the fucking lump of it when he was there. Everyone knows that when you're a celebrated quarterback in this league, you get away with more calls. It's a guaranteed thing. It might be because you're more likable. It might be because they want your autograph after. I don't know. But it's the fact that you're the face of the fucking shield. And that's part of probably what it comes with. That they don't want you to get fucking bashed up. They'll call those penalties. Some of them are justified. Some of them are a bit unjustified. It doesn't matter. When you're playing against the face of the league, they tend to fucking favor on him. I don't believe in the fixing bullshit. That's all bollocks and the paid off refs. This is just stuff that fans say so they can feel better that Mahomes isn't elite. They just happen to buy the refs. We've seen it all before, because guess who had the same bullshit? Tom Brady.
Yes, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. But let's go to the next one though, Slick, because these were killing me. Bucs Twitter thinks the offense is just going to lose their powers like Monstars on Space Jam once Cohen leaves. And then when he signed, Glazers W. Shut up. So wait a minute, lose his powers. It's not that, Slick. I think this is how you know some people just don't understand the game of football. You do realize, sir, that when you get a new coordinator, you have to start from scratch. The continuity of the offense will not be there. You are aware
the difference between people who have played the game and have been involved and have had a coordinator switch or went to a different team or what have you. Those people know that it's not that fucking simple.
Not that simple.
And they know it's not that simple because it isn't. There are things that remain the same, but the terminology is different. I went to one place and we never even referred to the boundary as the fucking boundary. We just called it the other side of the field. And this other team I went to, they were very hot on boundary and field. Boundary and field. It has to be called boundary and field because that's how we played our strength. Yep. We didn't call strength off tight ends and things like that. We called it off the side, the field.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were lined up on the field side, so the field side was always our strong side because we were playing space rather than men.
Yeah.
Because you're most likely if you're going to run if you've got a run game, you're most likely going to run it down the area where there's a lot of space for him to make people miss. Mm-hmm. You're going to pass the ball in the area where there's more space because in college rules, the hash marks are much wider. So it does change where the field is and how we align. The other team I went to just literally rocked up and played in comparison, right? And this all that shit, it takes time to understand the techniques and what have you and the terminology and all those things. It's like someone took the playbook and went, nope. They'll have their own fucking playbook, their own philosophies on how they feel or the way they've been taught the game should be played.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
come
then
in and you go, coach turn around and he'll go, I want to run the triple. I'm a triple option guy. And they go, well, we ain't done triple option in fucking 15 years. We ain't done triple option here. The last coach, he ran spread. I don't give a fuck. You're running triple option.
facts. And it doesn't mean, and you know, guys, that doesn't always necessarily mean the players are going to respond to that the right way. It takes time. It really does. We were fortunate that Cohen was the kind of coach where the players knew how to do it. Again, let's go back to the running back
Let's be
situation.
honest, Cohen's probably the best OC that's ever been on this team.
Yes, outside of Arians. Outside of Arians, that's it.
But we give Arians the nod there because he was the head coach, but I'm talking about pure
Oh, yeah, pure
OC.
OC. Yes.
Pure
This
OC.
is the
He's
best OC.
definitely the greatest OC that we've ever had.
This is because
you know the Gruden year was all Gruden.
Yes, we know that.
And you know the year that it was Tom Brady took us to the promised land. That it was pretty much fucking Arians calling that shit.
Well, and there's not that many coordinators, Slick, and you know this, that can go from being pass first immediately to, hey, okay, these guys are out. Fuck this. We're gonna set up and start the run. We're going to dominate it. And you want to let that guy go. You think that it's that simple. Again, this is why some people, if you haven't played or been around the game long enough, it's hard to take you serious. You are going to sound ridiculous. And by you stuffing Bowles' nutsack down your throat ain't gonna change shit. You sound like a fucking idiot, because then, Slick, when I asked them about what's the problem with Bowles, well, he just doesn't have the players to do anything. What are you talking about? He has Vita, he has Canty, he had Winfield, he had Zion, he had Levante. He had more than enough. So why are you giving? Because then somebody said the Bucs offense was loaded. I said the Bucs defense had more than enough. If anything, shouldn't the coach?
Bucs offense was not loaded for the mid part of the season, and we kept every team close. The Bucs team was not fucking loaded to begin with.
No, and Slick, this is why
it became loaded once Bucky Irvin established himself as a runner.
That's right.
Once he established himself as that dude, then you could say, okay, Chris Godwin, he stepped up because this was his first year back after the first full year back where he started to look normal, because he came back last year. It took him a while to get going, and he started to look like himself towards the back portion of the season, right?
Yeah, right.
But this season, he hit it straight away. He was already that dude. Yep. Mike Evans, straight away, already that dude. Not Trey Palmer. McMillan, already showing glimpses. You know, so you add all these things. Okay, yeah, the Buccaneers on paper weren't a juggernaut offense.
No,
we weren't. On paper we weren't. We believe it because we've seen these guys. We know what it's capable of. But I'd say by week 5, yeah, once we beat the Saints in that whooping, you could declare the Buccaneers were loaded at offense.
Yep.
Preseason, if the Buccaneers were so loaded, why were we always shit on by the media? They did not shit on us the second year that Brady was with us. They they guzzled us hard.
Yep.
Everyone had a clean dick.
Yes, they did.
Everyone had one.
And Slick, also, if we were so loaded when Evans and Godwin went down, why did we struggle in the passing? Like, why weren't we as consistent? Why did we have to go to the run? We weren't. McMillan he hit his rookie wall. Sterling Shepard couldn't get us open. Cade Otton was getting there, but it wasn't overloaded. They look. We were not the 2021 Bucs offense yet. You know why they say that, Slick? Because they see in hindsight. But during the season, that was not the case. And the defense still,
the totality of the season, we were a juggernaut offense, right? But no one. I didn't think we'd get fucking 41 touchdowns. I thought Baker would finish on a modest 35 to 37. He'd probably have about 10 picks, and he'd be about 4,000 yards.
Right.
That's where I kind of put his numbers. It's not too far from that. I think he got 43 or something, 42 touchdowns.
41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns. That's damn good. That's MVP caliber seasons. And again,
if he cleans up those interceptions, it's a foregone conclusion.
If he had 10 interceptions, that you have to, or 10 interceptions, you'd give him. You'd be like, all right, that's MVP, which he will be. But back to these fake ass supporters. It's okay. Look, I supported Bowles Slick, but people forgot. You know I didn't. You know how I was. I always had him on a leash. Like, I'm supporting him because that's my team. But if he fucks up, I want him gone. Bowles was fucking up. And now this is his last chance. So for all you bowl guzzlers, though, I don't want to hear shit about the Cohen thing. At this point, Slick, I want them to focus on your coach Bowles. What is he going to do with this defense? Because if he gets all the pieces, Slick, and this Bucs defense shits the bed, I'm going to go back to them and go, nah, Bowles was supposed to be your guy. And remember, like you said, I just said this. We saw what Detroit did when Ben Johnson came back this season. You know why? Because Detroit had continuity. They had chemistry. That's what happens when you.
A huge thing. You don't want your fucking offense to learn a fucking. It's hard to take a team to the fucking playoffs and be successful every single time if you're changing a coordinator every year.
So this is why. Yep. So this is for all you baby back bitches.
And don't forget, we didn't cover this part. Think of all the fucking staff he's going to take with him. People don't think of that shit. He's going to go there and go, right, I need an offensive coordinator. I need my running backs coach. I need my wide receivers coach. And he may even go, you know what? I thought some of those guys like fucking so-and-so and so-and-so, the DB coach and the so-and-so coach, they were fucking clever guys. I'll go and get those.
Yep.
Here we go.
And here
you could literally turn around and go, I like that. He could turn around and go, I wish the Bowls defense was a little bit more risky. But you know what? Coaches know what they're fucking doing. I'll take the defensive coordinator and I'll take the rest of the fucking staff. You could. I'm not saying he would or what have you, but he will definitely take his offensive coordinator with him. He'll definitely take his quarterbacks coach with him. Anyone he wants will go with him. So if you're a Buccaneer and he wants you, you're probably going with him. Because you're damn sure if they bring in a new OC, may not want you.
Facts, but they don't think about that. They don't think
about. So the O-line coach is gone. He's gone. Everyone on the offense is fucking gone. They've all gone to fucking wherever he is, Jacksonville or whatever.
Yep.
Indeed, it's a foregone conclusion.
But they don't think about it that way, though. See, Slick, this is why
the case you get new playbook, new system. It's fucking entirely new coaching staff for the whole from top to fucking bottom. You might get 1 or 2 people who stay.
Right. Getting a new offense or defense, ladies and gentlemen, that's literally like getting a new identity. That's it. You don't know the philosophy, and it's not always guaranteed that your players are going to be with that. So
ideally, you hire someone who's in the same mindset, but that's if you can get hold of those people. So then
that's right.
You've got to remember, it's like you're shopping. You want to go and get a certain meat, right? I want a sirloin steak. They don't have any sirloin steak available. So maybe I'll go maybe I'll go with a ribeye or I'm not sure. Maybe I'll go the Wagyu beef. And you're spoiled for choice because you don't know which one to go. And then you take it home and your wife you put it on the dinner and you cook it and it's like, yep, it's not as good as that ribeye that you keep buying.
It's not the same. Yeah, it ain't the same.
It's not the same. And it's like, because it's not the fucking same.
It's not the same. So for all you Bowls guzzlers, now we don't want to hear that shit. This is for Buck fans who believe, because we're not saying that you have to be anti-Bowls, but the disrespect of Cohen was just dumb. If you just think, oh, the offense, somebody else knew was just going to come in and
it'll always generate numbers, but you won't always get the consistency out of it because you'll have explosive games and you'll have unexplosive games. You saw it with the Buccaneers offense this year. Just for the main part, we did more than we could, but forcing an entire team to learn a whole new terminology is just stupid when you can avoid it.
When you can avoid it, and you have a guy that can we don't know. For all we know,
why do you think we're all clinging on to Bowles to a degree?
Facts.
You know, I know you're not the happiest person in the world with him. I'm indifferent about it, but by changing him, you're going to have a whole new identity. So you don't want to do it unless you feel you have to do it.
Yep.
When you're like, I can do this, and I think I'll still get success, or it needs to happen because of other factors, i.e., Cohen's been offered a head coaching role, and you've decided, fuck it. In the second year, he's proven me right. Bowles is not, his defense still isn't doing it. We need to make that change up. We need to bring this guy in and let this guy out and send him on his way. that's when you've got a deciding factor that makes you go, okay, now I've got to make a decision of where I'm going to go. Because otherwise, you're just going to keep doing the same thing, and that might be a division championship and a first or a second round exit every year.
Yep, and my final thoughts. This now with Cohen staying now, this should be a lesson in for Bowles to understand. Now that you see that Cohen can have an aggressive mindset, you're gonna have to evaluate yourself, Bowles, and you're gonna have to come to the realization and get out of your stubbornness and ego and go, okay, what will it take for this defense to be good? If I have to change certain things in my scheme, then so be it. Because hopefully Cohen can influence him to go, okay, we do need to go for this. We need to do this because Slick, every team in the playoffs this past season, this playoffs went for fourth downs. The Buccaneers did not, and we ended up being
fourth down isn't like a new trend now, and I think it's because of just how open the offense is. You know, you can there's penalties on quite a few plays, so you know all you have to do is get one encroachment penalty, you're over, one offside, one illegal hand to the face. There's so many that can come in and that can save your ass even if you don't pull off the play. And there's so many plays that will just guarantee you a couple of yards. So why not take a punt at it? If you're here's the thing: if you're inside their half, it's a very big thing in my level of football because kickers aren't as good from further away. So you'll find that the Steelers have a very good kicker, but a lot of teams don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean a lot of teams, as in most of them don't. So a lot of them don't kick field goals. They go for twos quite often because they don't want to waste the points unless it's like smack bang in the right in the middle. They'll go for two and they'll go on fourth down if they're inside your half.
Right.
They just have to because they know they're not going to kick it, so they may as well try something else.
There it is. And there you go, guys. This is a new era of football. So Bowles, get with the fucking program. I need Bowles to do this, Slick, throughout the entire until the next season. I need him to write the definition of aggressive 1,000 times. 1,000 times.
1,000 times till it sinks in. You watch the Harry Potter where he writes it and it burns into his hands.
Yes, I need that.
Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs that.
Aggressive and ruthless.
I think aggressive is an aggressive play call. When we were playing against the Staffordshire Surge, which are our biggest rival, when we played them again in the playoffs in the semi-final,
yes,
we were at 4th and 10 on our 45. We called a run play, touchdown, game over.
Game over. So Bowles, you understand?
And that was because the coach saw something that they were doing every single play. And they never did it again after that. They were I can't remember what it was because I was focused on defensive stuff, but he called it because he saw one thing happen. And all it took was the center had to go that way instead of going up. And he did that. He just sealed it off and he just ran straight down the fucking middle, literally down between the two hashes and ran it straight in for a touchdown. It was done.
There you go. And see, and I will leave you with that. So Bowles, remember, be aggressive. You got to. It's all or nothing. You play not to lose, you will lose. Play to win, and you can win. With that, I will be on out on this one. Guys, thank you again for checking out Bucs Report, The Aftermath, 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio. Again, check me out, YouTube. It's about bucking time. AJ Turnup on TikTok. It's back. So I'm talking a lot of shit. But again, for you bowl guzzlers, holla at me because I'm going to school you just right. Until you can get me with some real fucking facts, don't disrespect Cohen. We're going to have our day. Now it's time to see what your boy going to do. I'm out. Y'all take care. Be easy, my man.
Look at yourself.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. Guys, that's the end of the show. It's been an interesting season. You know, we got our offensive coordinator back, which means we'll have a little bit more stability in the offense. Hopefully, Chris Godwin stays. If Chris Godwin stays, I really think this offense with Graham Barton going from a rookie to being a sophomore player or a second-year player, and the same with Jalen McMillan. I think sky's the limit for this offense. I don't even think you need to worry about anything in the draft. You can use 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th to kind of sort that shit out because you don't need it. There's no mega need on the offense right now. Go and get the pass rusher. Draft with your second round. Go draft yourself a linebacker. I like the one. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. From Alabama. And Walker as well. I think he's a pretty decent dude. I think it's Jalen Walker. I'm not entirely sure, but I've been looking at those. I've been having a little snoop at those guys, and that seems to be where it's at in the second round. And then go get yourself a corner, and then go and spend some money on that elite pass rusher if you can. Go and get yourself an elite pass rusher. 2 firsts and a second or a third from next year. A second or third from next year. That should go and see if you can entice somebody. But I'm hoping that they will put them up for sale. So your Khalil Mack, you can get in free agency. That's the bottom end of what I'm hoping for. But your guys like your Max Crosby's and Myles Garrett's, I'm hoping they come on the trading block because they're disgruntled and they want to go somewhere else, and we can go get them. The reason I like that is once they're put on the trading block, their value is less than if you go and ask the Browns. You ask the Browns, the price is higher. But if the Browns are saying we're looking to get rid of this guy, the price will be cheaper. It's always the way. You're trying to sell something, it's harder. It's cheaper. If you have something that everyone wants or people want, they'll pay more for it. Standard business. Bucs fans, keep staying in tune. Keep checking us out on Wednesdays. We're going to keep covering the draft. We've got a lot of draft research we've got to get done and do a bit of work on that. But for me, I'm back in football now. So we've just finished our OTAs. We're going straight into preseason week 1 this week. So that'll be fun. Get ready. New head coach. It was our former defensive coordinator. And yeah, we were ready to rock and roll. Year 3 of the playbook as well. So the year playbook gets to that little bit of evolution. So that's always fun. And get these guys in. We got a load of new bodies and human beings ready to go after it. So hopefully this stop in Division 1 will be temporary because we're going back up. Either way, we want to make sure we put our fucking boot down on this shit. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs. Go and enjoy the playoffs.